would like to introduce you to tonight's Jeopardy event coordinators, Mark Becker, George Deitch, Deke Manross, and Rick Tone. Mark Becker, an Erie native, enlisted in the Army in 1975, later attending West Point and serving in elite units such as Special Forces and Explosive Ordnance Disposal, earning multiple awards, including the Bronze Star. After his military career, he oversaw R&D for Special Operations Forces and earned a law degree from Wake Forest, passing the North Carolina and Florida bar exams. George Deitch, Executive Director Emeritus of the Erie County Historical Society, Hagen History Center, led an $11 million revitalization of the center and has co-founded multiple local historical organizations. A respected historian and educator, he has lectured at both Chautauqua and here at the Jefferson, and is currently writing a book on the 83rd Pennsylvania Infantry. Rick Tome, a Civil War history enthusiast and active volunteer, has presented for the Erie Civil War Table and taught religious education for well over a decade. He retired from a long career at St. Vincent Hospital and now enjoys golf, travel, reading, and historical research. And last but not least, Deke Manross has spent over 65 years studying the Civil War, participating in reenactments and visiting battlefields across the U.S. A retired professor and tech industry veteran, he now enjoys sailing, hiking, and making maple syrup with his wife. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Mark, George, Deke, and Rick a warm JES welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Jake. That was a very nice introduction for the four of us. We appreciate that. And thank you to the Jefferson Education Society for allowing us to have this venue. We have so many more people, and it's wonderful to see that you all came out, and I do see some familiar faces. Yes, this is Civil War Jeopardy, and this is going to be our second rollout. We did this once before in a much smaller venue down at the Hagen History Center, and that was back in November, and it met with a lot of success. People seemed to like it, so we got together and we decided let's do it again. Now, I will say to you, our budget is not quite what you will see as the budget on the TV game. They have a few more years under their belt and a few $1 billion more. In fact, we would meet in my basement, the four of us, and our budget was a few pizzas and some beer. Over here we have John Mingy and your son, Robert Mingy. Very good. And I just want to ask you, well, first of all, John Mingy informed me that it was about 15 years ago, 2011, that he actually was a contestant on the TV version of Jeopardy. So we have a ringer here, folks.
I didn't win. Okay.
He did not win, but I thought that was a cool piece of trivia, and John's here to help him out. Very good. Here we have our brave, singular guy, Bruce Barrett. And Bruce, tell us where you're from.
I'm from Meadville.
Meadville?
Retired attorney, Civil War buff for probably 50 years or more. And I know all the answers if I can find them to get them out. But, I spoke to the round table here a few months ago, and I've spoken at the Meadville round table a number of times. And it's interesting, it's fun. So when I was invited, I said, I'll take it.
He jumped right in. And Bruce will be contestant number 2, okay? Our contestant number 3, we have a couple, Jim and Marty Sawyer. And you're local folks, aren't you?
Yes.
Very good. And they're, they were brave enough to come forth and to act as contestants, putting their skills on the line here. So I want to wish everybody a good luck here, and we'll start our game very quickly. Let's test our buzzers just to make sure. The Mingy group number 1. There we go. Bruce, how about your buzzer? How's that working? He has that one, and the Sawyers. Very good. So, with that, let's play Jeopardy! We have our categories. Let's take a look at our categories, won't we? We start off here with Lincoln. Then we have the year 1862. So the answers will be what happened in 1862. Erie County in the Civil War. Of course, we would have to have a local flavor to it, wouldn't we? And then Gettysburg, being the big battlefield in the state of Pennsylvania. Assassination, of course, that's the Lincoln assassination. And then the year May, 1864. So, with the Minjies, if you want to pick a category and a value.
Rick, let's go for 1862 for 100, please.
11862. The alternate name for the Battle of Pittsburgh Landing. And we have Bruce Barrett, number 2.
What is Shiloh?
What is Shiloh is correct for 100. You have the board.
Gettysburg 500?
Gettysburg 500. And we have this farmer, the last name is fine. This farmer owned the infamous peach orchard. And we have the Minjies.
Who is Sherfy?
Who is Sherfy is correct for 500. And you have the board.
1862, 200, please.
1862, Fredericksburg, Virginia, lies on this strategic river. And we have the Minjies again.
What is the Rappahannock?
What is the Rappahannock is correct. You still hold the board.
300, please.
300, 1862. The cabinet member who advised Lincoln to wait for a Union victory before announcing the Emancipation Proclamation. And we have team 1.
Who is Seward?
Who is Seward is correct. You still have the board.
400, please.
400. Confederate General A.P. Hill marched his division from this location into the Battle of Antietam. Again,
What is Harper's Ferry?
Harper's Ferry is correct. And you still have the board.
Finish category, please. 500.
We're finishing the category. Confederate forces were entrenched on this high ground at Fredericksburg. Oh, and looks like we have the Sawyers, number 3.
Mary's Heights,
Okay, we will accept that. Mary's Heights, very good for 500. And now you have the board.
Erie County in the Civil War, 100.
100. This colonel raised the Erie Regiment at the beginning of the war. And we have Bruce Barrett.
Who is Strong Vincent?
No, that is not correct. And that's the buzzer. And the answer is John McLean. Very good. We have a school named after him out there towards Edinburgh, don't we? Okay, you still have the board, Marty and Jim.
Gettysburg for 100.
Gettysburg 100. This general was shot in the left leg on July 1st, but still continued to command throughout the battle without being treated.
Sorry. I heard it.
Well,
Sorry.
oh, okay. Well, you have to try to give an answer.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I know, I want to say Hancock.
No, Hancock is not correct. This is an interesting one. We'll talk about this at the end, too, by the way. The answer is General Richard Ewell. And I will just want to make a quick comment. I should have before we started. At the end, we will have a question and answer period. So whatever things you might see up here that interest you, please try to keep track of that, and we will be glad to address that.
Lincoln for 100.
Lincoln for 100. Lincoln was this number president of the United States. And we have the Sawyers, team 3.
16.
The 16th is correct. That's why it's a 100-point question. You still have the board. You were right.
Lincoln for 200.
And 200. On January 1st, 1863, Lincoln used his war powers to issue an order to free slaves in the rebelling states. And again, the Sawyers, team 3.
The Emancipation Proclamation.
What is the Emancipation Proclamation? Very good. And you still control the board.
Lincoln for 300.
You're doing well. Oh, this is the one I have to read now. Lincoln traveled from Illinois to Washington, D.C. for his first inauguration, stopping to visit 11-year-old Grace Biddell in this local town. Yes, team 3.
Maysville, New York.
No, I'm sorry, it is not Mayfield. Okay, you were close. The answer is Westfield, New York. So close.
Just I'm playing judge tonight and commentator. That statue of Lincoln and Grace is right on Route 20 in the center of Westfield. It's a beautiful little spot. If you go out there for whatever reason, it's worth a stop to pay a little homage to Grace, who was the young girl that wrote Lincoln that he would look better growing the beard.
There's a few good restaurants around there too. It's a nice day trip. Okay, Team 3, you still control the board.
Assassination 100.
Assassination 100. This event changed the conspirators' plan from kidnapping Lincoln to killing him. And we have the Minji group.
What is the surrender at Appomattox?
What is the surrender at Appomattox is correct. Yes, very good. And now you have the board.
May 64 for 100, please.
Okay. The overall commanders at the Battle of the Wilderness. And that is Team 1.
Who were Grant and Lee?
Who were Grant and Lee is correct. Very good. Once again, you have the board.
200, 1864.
The name given to the series of battles in Virginia from May 4th, June 1864.
What is the Overland Campaign?
What is the Overland Campaign is correct. Very good. You still have the board.
300.
300 in 1864.
Forget it.
This Confederate lieutenant general was seriously wounded by friendly fire while leading a counterattack towards the key Brock Road intersection in the Wilderness. Yes,
Who was A.P. Hill?
No, that is not correct. Boop, boop. The answer is James Longstreet. Because he was wounded in the neck or the throat very seriously during
I will
that
throw in here that Longstreet was wounded 4 miles and a year and 3 days after Stonewall Jackson was also killed by friendly fire just down the road.
You still have the board, Team 1?
64 for 400.
This salient in the Confederate line at Spotsylvania was the target of the single largest Union charge of the war, led by General Winfield Hancock. Yes, Team 1.
What is the Bloody Angle?
No, that is not correct. Boop, boop. And the answer is the mule shoe. Remember, it was a salient. It was sticking out, kind of bowed out as a salient, as a bulge. You still have the board, Team 1.
Let's switch to Gettysburg 200.
This Confederate brigade commander was the first to encounter Union troops. Yes.
Who was Heath?
Who was Heath? No, it was not Heath. Boop, boop. And the answer is James Pettigrew. Pettigrew was the first.
Pettigrew was a brigade commander under Harry Heath, but the question was brigade commander.
You still have the board, Team 1.
Okay. Gettysburg 300.
Two brothers were raised together in Gettysburg, but one moved to Virginia and fought for the South. He returned to fight at Gettysburg and was killed on this family farm, named after his family. Yes, Bruce, number 2.
Who was Skelly?
No, not Jack Skelly, I'm sorry. Anyone? Boop, boop. Culp, the Culp family. Culp Still, Wesley Culp, who was killed on his family's farm. And you still, Team 1, have the board.
Gettysburg 400.
This Confederate general, a former congressional member, was killed on the second day of the battle. Team 1.
Who was Barksdale?
Barksdale is correct, very good. and you still have the board.
Erie County, 200.
The original name of the iron-hulled warship built in Erie that played an important role in the Civil War. Team 1.
The Michigan?
What is the Michigan? Very good. Good job, and you still control
How do you know that?
the categories.
Thanks for your confidence.
Erie County, sorry. Here, you hold that. Erie County, 300.
The name of the dominant political party in Erie County during the Civil War. Boop, boop. The Republican Party. Republican Party back.
I'll jump in here of interest. Erie County was one of the only 2 or 3 counties in the entire state that voted for the Republicans in 1856 when James Buchanan, who was from Lancaster, won the presidency. Erie County and Crawford County both voted for James Fremont. And it showed how strong the abolitionist movement was up here in northwestern Pennsylvania.
And Team 1, you still control the board.
Let's finish out 64 for 500.
Oh, I gotta read this one here, okay. This large oak tree was cut down by small arms fire during an 11-hour fight as it stood along this section of the Confederate trench line at Spotsylvania. Boop, boop. The answer? The Bloody Angle. That's a lot of bullets, folks. a lot of mini balls. Okay, you still have the board.
Erie County, 400.
This regiment, raised primarily in Erie County, suffered the highest number of battle deaths during the Federal defeat at Fredericksburg. And we have Team 2, Bruce.
We're the 83rd Pennsylvania?
No, I'm sorry, not the 83rd. Boop, boop. The 145th Pennsylvania Volunteer Infantry.
Civil War, 500, Erie County.
He led the 83rd Pennsylvania Volunteer Infantry on Little Round Top at Gettysburg. We have Team 3, the Sawyers.
It was Strong Vincent.
No, it was not Strong Vincent. Boop, boop. This was a tough one. Captain O.S. Woodward, remember?
Oh, of course.
Vincent, yeah. Vincent was the brigade commander. We're asking for the 83rd, which would be a regiment. Okay, the Minjis, you still have control.
Assassination, 200.
For 200, this cabinet member was also targeted for assassination on April 14th, 1865. And that is number 2, Bruce Barrett.
Who was Seward?
Who was William Seward. Very good. It's a very interesting story, by the way. And Bruce, you have the board.
Assassination for 3?
After leaping onto the stage, John Wilkes Booth was heard to have shouted this to the stunned audience. And number 2, Bruce.
Sic Semper Tyrannis.
Sic Semper Tyrannis, which means thus always to tyrants. Very good, and you have the board.
Assassination 400?
Gazing upon the lifeless president, he is credited with the words, "Now he belongs to the ages." And we have the Minjis, Group 1.
It was Stanton.
Who is Edwin Stanton. Very good, Secretary of War.
I'll jump in here for just a second. That quote is interesting because there are people who were in the room that stated that Stanton said, "Now he belongs to the angels." But Stanton insisted for later publication it was to the ages.
And Team 1, you do have the board.
Assassination, 500.
This Union sergeant fired the shot that killed John Wilkes Booth? Bruce, number 2.
Who is Boston Corbett?
Who is Boston Corbett? That is correct. And you have 2 left on the board. You have 1 column left.
Lincoln 400?
For decades, Lincoln had a contentious relationship with the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme, with this Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court. And team 1?
Who was Roger Taney?
Who is Roger Taney? That is correct. And our final question. Lincoln was the postmaster and read the law in this small town. Boop, boop. New Salem, Illinois. Okay, everybody, that completes our first round of Jeopardy. Let's take a look at the scores here.
Team 1 has 2,100 points. Singleton, Mr.
Bruce Barrett?
Yes, Mr. Bruce has 500, and Team 3 brings up the rear at -100.
Okay. So we're gonna have to lock these guys in the bathroom, I guess, huh?
But I'd like to point out that when we did this with the last fall with the Erie Civil Roundtable, the people who were in the lead after second round, the second Double Jeopardy, were quite a bit in the lead, and they lost it all in Final Jeopardy. So there's the gauntlet towards the top.
Yeah, it was the people that had the least amount won in Final Jeopardy, so it was interesting. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, great audience. We're going to take a little break for about 5 minutes. You want to get on? Just a couple of things before we start Double Jeopardy, and that is the folks here at the Jefferson Educational Society, I forgot to mention at the beginning, very generously will be awarding prizes to the winners of tonight's contest. Very nice prizes. I understand that they are $100 gift certificates to the Jefferson Society. So that would... we are into Double Jeopardy, and as you know, the scores can change quite a bit in Double Jeopardy. And let's take a look at our categories. We will start off with battles. We have another year, 1863 as a category. Confederate leaders, and the always popular, it could be anything, potpourri. 1865. And finally, this is my favorite really, last words. These are the last words that have been agreed upon, that different characters have spoken before their death. So we will go with the team that has the least amount of score. This will begin our Double Jeopardy, and that would be Team 3 here, the Sawyers. You go right ahead.
Last words for 200.
Last words for 200. Strike the tent.
Bruce. Robert E. Lee.
Robert E. Lee. Very good. Bruce, you now have control of the board.
1863, 200.
And we have the 2 opposing cavalry commanders who led the cavalry clash near Brandy Station in 1863. It was the largest cavalry battle in the Civil War. We need the 2 commanders. And we have the Minges.
Who were Stewart and Pleasanton. Whoops. I did know that, actually.
I know you did. That is correct. That is correct. That's okay. You had it halfway out there. Okay, you have control of the board.
1863, 400.
He guided the Legal Tender Act through Congress that established the greenback. Boop, boop.
Rick, we decided we were going to ask the audience.
Oh, that was another thing I was informed of during the break. If nobody can come up with the answer, we're going to include some audience participation. So only when someone doesn't know, okay? Anybody want to take a chance? Yes, back there.
Salmon Chase.
Salmon Chase, that is good. So it looks like you get whatever the value was.
What was really interesting about this was Salmon Chase, who was the Secretary of the Treasury. Lincoln appointed him to be Chief Justice in 1864 after Roger Taney passed away. knowing that a number of the executive orders at that point would be challenged through the Supreme Court, and he was most worried about the greenbacks. So he figured if he put Chase in as Chief Justice, that would not get challenged. Well, it turned out in 1867, the greenback issue came up before the court. Chase was Chief Justice, and he voted that it was unconstitutional.
And this is why we have George here. Thank you, George. Team 1, you still have the board.
600, 1863.
In addition to the Civil War, the other significant conflict the United States endured in 1863. Boop, boop. Anybody want to take a chance in the audience? That's a tough one. Yes, in the back.
Indian uprising in, I want to say Minnesota or something like that?
You're very close, very good. The Sioux uprising in the Dakotas, yes. Very good. Wow. Very impressive. That's Paul back there, right? Yes, good job, Paul. Okay, team 1, the board.
800, 1863.
Besides slavery, another very significant social reform movement that gained momentum in 1863. Boop, boop. Audience? Yes, in the middle.
Wait for the mic.
Oh, yeah, we'll wait for the microphone coming your way.
Women's rights.
Well, the women's suffrage movement. Yes, very good. Wow, we have some very good audience. Shall we sign you two up for the next time we do this? Okay, team 1.
Just ask them in the back. 1863.
The often overlooked Civil War campaign that took place in July 1863, simultaneously with Gettysburg and Vicksburg, and it resulted in yet another significant Union victory. And we have the Minji Group.
What is it, Red River campaign?
No, I'm sorry. Anyone? Boop, boop. That would be the Tullahoma. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't. Is that what you were going to say? No. I'm sorry. Yeah, I jumped. The Tullahoma campaign. Yes, I'm so sorry.
As a matter of fact, John, Red River was a Confederate victory, not a Union victory.
And you still have the board.
Okay. Battles 200.
Battles 200. The Confederate General James Longstreet famously said about this battle, "A chicken could not live on that field when we open on it." Boop, boop. And we'll leave it up to the audience.
Double jeopardy is a little harder than single jeopardy.
Nobody? Our answer is the Battle of Fredericksburg. He promised to open up, put so much fire on the field below his troops that not even a chicken would find enough left there to live on it. Team 1.
Battles 400.
This battle is nicknamed the Battle Above the Clouds.
What is Missionary Ridge?
No, well, it's not. No, it's not. It's in that vicinity, but no. Bruce, number 2.
What is Lookout Mountain?
The Battle of Lookout Mountain. Yes, it was up so high that part of that mountain was obscured by mist and fog and clouds. You have the board, Bruce.
Battle 600?
Before this battle, the Army of Potomac soldiers pinned their names on their uniforms so their bodies could later be identified. Boop, boop. Audience, in the back, we have a mic.
Cold Harbor.
What is
Cold Harbor?
Cold Harbor? That's very good. That is correct. Good job. Bruce, you still who had the board here?
800.
800 is Bruce, yes. The twin battles that destroyed the Confederate Army of Tennessee. And we have team one.
What are Nashville and Franklin?
Nashville and Franklin is correct. Very good. And you have the board.
1,000 battles?
This completes the category. The largest joint operation, meaning Army and Navy, battle of the war. And team one?
What is Vicksburg?
No, that is incorrect. Boop, boop. Audience. No takers. And our answer is the Battle of Fort Fisher / Wilmington, North Carolina, in very early 1865. And we still have the Minjies in control of the board.
Confederate leaders, 200.
200, the lieutenant general who allegedly said in his southern drawl, "I get thar firstest with the mostest." And we have number one.
It was Nathan Bedford Forrest.
Very good, Nathan Bedford Forrest.
400, same category.
The Confederate general who was the son of a president of the United States. You have four choices. Boop, boop. Audience. The answer is Richard Taylor, Zachary Taylor's son.
600 leaders.
The commander of the Army of Northern Virginia for a day when Joseph E. Johnston was wounded at the Battle of Seven Pines. Again, you have a choice of four. Boop, boop.
Anybody?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Audience? That's a tough one. Gustavus Woodson Smith. You all knew that, didn't you?
Let's try 1865 or 600.
A new category, 1865. The Virginian who said, "The war began in my front yard and ended in my parlor." Bruce.
Who is McLean?
Who is Wilmer McLean? Very good. It's where the truce was signed between Lee and Grant at Appomattox. Bruce, you got the board.
Potpourri for 200?
In late 1863, President Lincoln attended a performance of The Marble Heart at Ford's Theater, featuring this famous actor. Minjies?
Who is Edwin Booth?
No, that is not correct. Bruce.
I'm going to believe it was John Wilkes Booth.
John Wilkes Booth, yes. We associate him with Our American Cousin, but he was also in many other productions. That was a little twist of a trick there on you. Bruce?
Potpourri 400?
400? The only state of the 11 secessionist states that did not send regiments to fight for the North. Boop, boop. Audience.
I'm going to say Florida.
No, Florida is not correct. Anyone else? And our answer is South Carolina, the cradle of secession. No regiments from South Carolina to the north.
Potpourri 600?
600. The orator who delivered a 2-hour dedication of the Gettysburg Cemetery prior to Lincoln delivering his 2-minute and 10-second, 269-word Gettysburg Address. Number 2, Bruce.
Edward Everett.
Who is Edward Everett? Very good, and you have the board.
Potpourri for 800?
800. The Confederate prison camp, with its 33,000 Union prisoners, that ranked as the 4th most populous city in the Confederacy in 1864. Bruce.
Oh, it was Andersonville.
Andersonville is correct.
Vote for 1,000.
1,000, and finishing that category, the future Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, who was wounded 3 times during the Civil War. And Group 1?
It was Holmes.
Who was Oliver Wendell Holmes. Very good. And once again, you have the board.
Confederate leaders, 800.
800. The Confederate officer who rode into Pickett's charge and was never seen again, dead or alive. Yes.
Pettigrew?
No, it was not Pettigrew. Boop, boop. Audience, anybody? No takers? Who is that man? Richard Garnett. Yes, he rode in on a horse, and that was it. He was obliterated.
I'll throw in a little bit about this. Garnett had been very ill, and first of all, they tried to persuade him not to go at all. And then he couldn't walk across that mile field, so he rode a horse against orders. And when he was killed somewhere in front of the wall at the angle, they created a mass grave after that. Somebody had stripped him of all of his rank and everything else, so he was, they never could identify him. And the other thing is, one of the reasons people think that he insisted on going in was he had been unjustifiably, in my view, criticized and court-martialed at, after the Battle of Kernstown by Stonewall Jackson, who thought that he was being a coward for withdrawing his troops just about when they were getting overwhelmed. So Garnett always had a chip on his shoulder about needing to prove his bravery.
And the movie Gettysburg illustrates that quite well, as a matter of fact, with Garnett being shot. They had him being shot by cannon. So he, well, like I said, was obliterated, never found. And what do we have? Who has the board again? Bruce, is it you?
1865, 200.
A new category. The Union cavalry general who had a brother who earned 2 Medals of Honor in April 1865. Bruce.
Who was Custer?
Who is Custer? Yes, his younger brother Tom Custer. In the early part of April of 1865, 2 Medals of Honor within about a week of each other. You have the board.
1865, 400.
As Vice President of the Confederacy, he met with Abraham Lincoln to discuss terms of peace. Bruce Barrett?
Who was Stevens?
Alexander Stevens is correct. Very good.
1865, 800.
The ill-fated steamboat that blew up, killing over 1,200 released Union prisoners. And number 2, Bruce.
What was the Sultana?
And the name of that boat was the Sultana. Very good.
1865, 1000.
The Native American officer on U.S. Grant's staff who wrote the final draft of Lee's surrender at Appomattox. Bruce Barrett.
It was Ely Parker.
Ely Parker is correct, yes.
Confederate leaders, 1,000.
And 1,000 to finish that category. The initials of Lieutenant General A.P. Hill, who served under Robert E. Lee, represented these first and middle names. Boop, boop. Audience? Yes, sir.
Ambrose Powell.
Ambrose Powell Hill. Excellent. Good job.
You got one.
Bruce, you have the board.
Last words, 400.
400. Forward, men, for God's sakes, forward. Yes, the Sawyers.
I might have.
First thought is always a good one.
I know, is it strong names there?
No, I'm sorry, it is not strong Vincent. Team 2, team 1. Boop, boop. And audience. Anyone? No?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Also depicted in the movie Gettysburg. There we go. Union General John Reynolds. Yes, day one, early in the battle too. Okay, Bruce.
600?
They couldn't hit an elephant at that distance. And we have the Minjies.
Who was Cedric?
Who is John Sedgwick? Very good. Yes. And you have two to pick from now.
800.
800. Last words. I am killed. Tell my wife and children that I died fighting at my post. Boop, boop. Audience. Yes, in the back.
Ambrose,
Ambrose?
General Ambrose.
No. Anyone else? Okay, and our answer is Confederate General William Barksdale, his last words. And finally, wrapping up Double Jeopardy for 1,000, she won't think anything of it. Boop, boop. Audience. In the back, yes?
Stonewall Jackson.
No, I'm sorry, not Stonewall Jackson. Those were the final words of this man, Abraham Lincoln. I'll tell you just a quick story because it's one of my favorites. So he and his wife Mary are up in the box watching Our American Cousin, and it is the third act, and it's approximately 10 minutes after 10 on that fateful evening. And it was customary for the president and his wife to have another couple accompany them to the theater. And so sitting on a couch to the side of them was a Union major by the name of Rathbone and his fiancée, Clara Harris, or I think that was her name, Clara Harris. And Mrs. Lincoln was enjoying her time with her husband Abraham, who had finally started to relax because the war had ended just a few days ago, and they're watching a comedy play. So she grabbed onto his hand and kind of put her head on his shoulder for a moment, and she whispered to Abraham Lincoln, "What will Miss Harris think of me hanging on to you so?" And Lincoln just kind of gently said to her, "She won't think anything of it." And just moments later, he's shot and killed. So the great orator, the great speechwriter, the great man, very simple words. She won't think anything of it. And we have the scores. Good job by everybody, by the way, and especially in the audience there. That was very good. Okay, team one, John and Robert Minji, in with an even 2,300 points, 2,300. Bruce Barrett, our solo gentleman here, he really surged during that round. He is leading at 5,700 points. And we have team three here, the Sawyers. Don't feel bad, it takes a lot of guts to play this game, at minus 500. Now, in the real Jeopardy, you are ineligible if you're below 0. But here, in this Jeopardy, you are eligible. Yes, you are. So, I have paper here for you, and I'll give you a pen, and you can write out your answers. And the final Jeopardy question. And we're going to play a little music, too, aren't we? Okay. So we know how this goes. Well, we have to read the question first. And our final Jeopardy question coming up. The category for it is Civil War strategy. There it is. In early 1861, Union Commanding General Winfield Scott devised this strategic plan to defeat the Confederacy through economic, naval, and land operations. Good luck. Okay, pens down, please. And we will go over here to team number 3, Jim and Marty Sawyer. And what did you come up with?
Wait a second, what's their bid?
Well, the $500 we were graciously allowed. So thank you for using Monopoly money.
First, you give the answer.
The boa constrictor?
The boa constrictor. Yeah, we're going to have to say no, because it actually wasn't a boa constrictor. It was a snake, but it wasn't a boa constrictor. And your bid was? 500. Okay. And then we go over to the Minjies, who are in second place. And you came up with?
The anaconda plan.
The anaconda plan is correct. And how much did you bid?
1 million points.
I guess beer for everybody here tonight.
We've been 2,200.
2,200, okay. So that then, to do my math, that puts you up to 4,500. And finally, Bruce, who was in the lead.
I did 500, and I said, what was the blockade?
What was the blockade? We were looking for the anaconda plan. So you are docked 500, but you had enough in your score. You are down to 5,200. 4,500, and we will go with 0 here. So our winner, Bruce Barrett, going solo. It was a very good game. We had a lot of good answers, a lot of good competition here. And so on behalf of the Jefferson Society, we would like to give you this certificate for $100, good at the Jefferson Society. And I want to thank everybody in the audience for being here. If you have any specific questions, especially pertaining to what you saw on the screen tonight, please raise your hand and the microphones will come around the room and you can speak into that so everybody can hear you. Thank you very much.